Hey everyone, Tendra here. My week in Warcraft went pretty well. I did a little bit of time walking, but since I got the Infinite Time Reaver, the last time walking was up, I didn't feel the need to push these very hard this week. So I didn't get nearly as many characters leveled as I wanted. I only managed to get one character to 70, and a couple more into the mid-60s. Also, over in the Maw, I missed the Shadehound event this week, so I didn't get any chances on that. So I'm gonna have to wait for it to pop up again before I'll get another shot at it. I've really been working on the Time Rifts and the Farak Assault a lot, and I got more of my alts almost fully geared into LFR gear. And what's really nice is there's still a lot of people over here doing these, so it hasn't been hard to complete them. You do get a few lurkers that just hang out in the center on top of the pillars and do nothing until the end boss spawns, but that seems kinda normal for Warcraft, and I'm guessing just about any multiplayer game at this point. The last thing I did was I got into the Zaralite Caverns this week, and I did manage to have a bit of luck in there. After a few attempts, I did receive the Cobalt Shalewing, so that's one more mount down, and a few more to go. After all that, I figured I'd head into my normal farms for the week. So let's take a look at them and see how I did. First up, I headed over to the Siege of Orgrimmar. I'm still farming up the Tusks of Mannoroth out of there, and I still do it on Mythic. The best part about this farm is the skip now. I'm loving it. But for some weird reason, I haven't switched back to my main yet. I guess it just slipped my mind, so I'm still doing it on my Blood Elf. Once I got to Siege of Orgrimmar, I just clicked on the banner, and I was back to Garage. It's so nice. I took him down, but I still didn't see the shoulders drop, so I'll be back here next week. Next up on my farm list is another item. This time it's the Scythe of the Unmaker, and that drops in Antorus the Burning Throne. This one I'm after the red version, so I have to do it on Mythic. It's a pretty quick run. I have the skip open, so I only have to do 3 bosses. But anyways, I headed over there and I worked my way back to Argus the Unmaker, and I took him down. I didn't have any luck getting this item to drop this week either, so this is another one I'll be back to next week, and I'll just keep my fingers crossed that I have a little better luck then. With all my armor and weapon transmogs that I'm farming at the moment out of the way, I started my mount farms. And the first mount farm up for me this week was the Hellfire Infernal. This drops out of Nighthold on Mythic because I need the red version again, so I headed over to Nighthold. And again, this is only a couple bosses because I have the skip open. Once I got back to Gul'dan, I took him out. I didn't see him drop it again this week, but my attempts are in the area where I should be seeing it pretty soon, so I'll just be back here next week and hopefully I have a little better luck. So with no luck so far, I headed to my next mount farm. This one was for the head of Mimiron, and that drops out of Ulduar. On my way up there, I looked for the time-lost Proto-Drake. I don't ever see him, but it doesn't hurt to look. And once I got up there, I worked my way back to Yogg-Saron. I took him out, and again this week he didn't drop the mount. So I will be back here next week, and let's hope my luck is a little better then. So after having no luck in any of my raids, I decided I'd start my 5-man mythics. The ones I'm doing are out in battle for Azeroth, and the first one up on my list was the Underrot. Out of here I'm after the mount, the Underrot Crawg, so I worked my way over there, took out the Unbound Abomination. Again, this is really fast, because you can skip most of the trash, and I didn't see the mount drop, so this is another one I'm going to have to come back to next week. Sooner or later, one of these have to drop. My luck can't be all bad. And finally I was on to my last 5-man mythic. This is King's Rest. Out of here, I'm after the Tomb Stalker, and with this one I've been doing it on a multi-character farm. This is where I take 13 characters in every week until I see the mount drop. So far this has been a pretty tough nut to crack. But let's take a look and see how I did this week.
You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Time to leave! You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, time to leave! You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, you have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master is... You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now... You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his master gathers power. Zul will not rest until... You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now, his... Time to bleed! You have broken Zul's hold! I serve that swine no longer! You have freed me from a cruel fate, but Zul is merely a puppet in a larger plan. Even now...
Well, another week down and no mount. This wouldn't be so bad, but there's a lot of RP inside of this instance, so it takes a little longer than normal. But I'll just have to keep at this and hopefully see something soon. And just in case you're wondering, this week, I'm wearing the Cruel Gladiator's plate armor. This is a Legion Season 3 and Season 4 armor set, and it comes in Combatant and Gladiator versions. If these are something you're looking to add to your collection nowadays, these are very easy to get. You're just going to travel over to Dalaran, the Legion version, and go to the PvP vendor. There's one for the Alliance, and there's one for the Horde. They're located inside the Alliance's Enclave or the Horde's Enclave. You'll just need a few marks of honor, and they're easy enough to buy. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. You can click on subscribe. Thanks for coming by and watching it. I'm going to send a hi out to my best friend, and you all take care.